Sweet, sweet Jamaica. Have you ever considered migrating to the mystical island of Jamaica? Join me, Michelle Moore, and special guests as we explore the world of Jamaica with those at home in Jamaica and those away in the diaspora, right here on the Home and Away Show. Hi and welcome to Home and Away Jamaica. Well, now this show is 4 weeks young, and I'm really enjoying it. It's so exciting. I'm learning on the job. I'm currently in London doing some research on this project. I'm speaking and meeting lots of interesting people who are currently planning to move to Jamaica in the next few weeks and some of them next year. So if that's you or you know anyone, get in touch. This is my voice, but your show, and I'd love to hear all about your plans. radio@michelledmore.com. Some people have said, Michelle, I do want to speak to you, but maybe a little bit too shy. Just get in touch. You can send me an email, we can have a chat, whatever you prefer. This is my voice, your show, whichever way you wish to interact, it's all possible. So, I know some of you are out there probably thinking, she said she's lived in Jamaica for the last, 3 years? So how come she has this thick British accent? Well, I must say, some things just linger. Yeah. The British accent for me, it's just there. I don't know why. I've tried, believe me, I've tried. But I'm just one of these slow learners, maybe. I don't know, I need some help. I'll speak a couple of words here and there and thing, but as soon as I start to speak a sentence, I don't know, just halfway through, the British accent it just overrides. So, bear with me. But I must say, to this day, I still get teased by one person in particular. Yes, I will mention names. Stefan Da Costa, because I know you're listening. I used to work with Stefan, and any opportunity he got, he would take a tease or a punch at me. But, I'm still standing strong. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep on trying. And we'll see, shall we? To this day, he still sends me texts, some little slang and patois to help my vocabulary. So I appreciate that. Thanks, Steph. All right. So today's show, I'll be speaking with an old British friend of mine. Well, he's not too old. Youngish British friend of mine who now lives in Jamaica. So he should be on the line. Derek Morgan, welcome to the show.
Hello, Michelle. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So are you home or away? Tell me where you're at.
I think I'm home from home.
Home from home. That sounds good.
That's where I think I am.
So where are you exactly? You're in that nice, cool little London place they call Mandeville.
That's right. I'm in Mandeville at the moment. It's a bit rainy. We've had a long summer. When I say a long summer, we've had a drought from last year till about September, end of September. We ain't had no rain for that long, So we've just come out of a drought, and now we're having quite a bit of rain, but it's still not enough to take us out of a drought. So we need the rain. I ain't complaining.
So why don't you take a trip down to London? We've got plenty here.
Plenty of rain. You think I like the rain? I don't mind when it falls and it's still warm outside, and in a matter of hours, when the sun comes out, it just dries up and you don't even remember that it was raining at all. But in London, I'll have to suffer the dampness. Yeah,
that nice tropical rain, it just comes and goes. Nice, refreshing.
That's right, yeah.
But do you get the same problem that I do with people teasing me or wondering why I've still got this big, thick British accent? Because you still got yours.
Yeah, but guess what? It's a psychological thing. When I'm speaking to you, I speak like this. When I'm speaking to them, it's an automatic switch on. Yeah. Sometimes they say to me, speak English, let me hear your sound. So I said, I'm speaking English. They said, boy, you used to have a thicker tone. But when people come in from England now, they tell me that my tone is really thick. So I can't win, really.
I'm not as good as you, obviously. I'm still in the learning stages. I'm getting there.
Okay.
So tell us about your journey now. You're residing in Mandeville.
That's right.
You've been there for how many years now?
I've been in Jamaica for 13 years, permanently living and doing what I've got to do to survive, really and truly, yeah?
And that is what at the moment, because when I visit you, you are just running around. If you're not with the cows, you're somewhere down the road with the birds at home.
Do you know
You're
what?
living the country lifestyle.
I can't even tell you exactly what I'm doing, but I just keep moving. At the moment, I mean, I've got a couple of patients here, because while the whole reason of me coming to Jamaica in the beginning was my father wasn't well. And every time I went back to England, I'd have to rush back. He's taken sick again.
Right.
So I started studying herbs, buying a whole load of herbal books and, questioning doctors and stuff like that. Because I got a lot of family out here who's doctors, first cousins, and, they're all, specialize in different things. And I come back there and I sort of tap their brains a bit, ask them questions, and I consult my little herbal book, and I put two and two together, and I get four. And then I make up my own medication, and it's been working out pretty well. I mean, a lot of people come to me and ask me, they tell me their problem and ask me if I can do anything about it. I resort back to my books and I put something together, and it's been working out really well so far. I've got all kind of herbs growing in my back garden, from merengue to guinea hen weed, vervine, you name it. I just let it grow in the garden.
So it look like you turn farmer, big time farmer.
It's nice when you stick something in the ground and you just watch it grow. Here in Jamaica, I mean, take moringa for instance. I put a seed in the ground, and in 3 months it was a tree, right?
Wow.
And in 5 months it was a bearing tree. It was covered in pods. I got 11 trees in my back
Amazing.
garden. It's covered in 11 trees. They grow so quick and easy. Somebody came to me, a friend came to me with uh, it looked to me like a stick. And he says, stuck this in your garden. It was actually a mulberry, a twig off of a mulberry tree. I stuck it in the ground. About 4 months after that, it was such a ginormous tree, you wouldn't believe it. Someone said to me, snip it, cut it in half. So I cut it. Right now, if you look at it, it's just fruited to the max. These fruits, what it bears, are so sweet. I've never tasted them before. They look like raspberries, but they're like half the size of a raspberry, and they're so sweet. I mean, it's that easy to grow things in Jamaica.
So you can start your own little farm. You can maybe turn that into a chutney or a jam or something. So tell us about the merengue.
Well, I haven't actually read anything about. Yes, I have. I tell a lie. I have, and I watched a few videos about merengue. It's supposed to be. It's classed as a superfood in the superfood category, which means you can actually live off of it. The way merengue became popularized was, I don't know if you remember, back in the 70s, the Ethiopians were out there starving because their land wasn't arable and they couldn't really plant anything there because of previous wars. It was hit with mustard gas. And these people were starving. They was looking like the Cambodians back in the time of the Khmer Rouge, skinny and walking skeletons. The Ethiopians were looking the same. So someone came up with this bright idea. Plant some merengue, cover the place in merengue. And I think that's what took them out of starvation. They was eating the merengue leaves, because you can cook it just like how we cook kalaloo, and it's quite nice. Like I said, the leaves is different now. The leaves have all kind of different vitamins. It's got more potassium than bananas, more vitamin C, 7 times more vitamin C than oranges, and the list goes on. If you just look it up, it's a wonderful thing, you know.
Lovely. So you obviously you were kind of forced into the situation of caring for your dad at the time.
Yeah.
And then residing in Jamaica. So after he passed away, what made you to decide to basically stay in Jamaica?
Because the main thing was really London had changed a lot, and the time I've been here, I mean, every month I've literally got visitors from England and they don't want to go back, and everybody's telling me you know what, you did the right thing. You need to just stay where you are because everybody's just depressed in London.
Yeah.
Over the last few months, London has become the most expensive city in the world. It was Hong Kong, but I always listen to LBC via the internet, you know,
Right.
and I found out that it's now the most expensive city under the globe right now.
That's not
And
surprising.
yeah, I had two properties when I left there uh, 13 years ago, down in South Norwood, and over the years, you know, rising damp. Within a year of me getting the first property, I lost it, and I couldn't go back to save it. The bank said to me, "Come back to England." You know, Northern Rocket was at the time. They said, "If you come back to England, it will allow you to choose another property. You know, come and save this one. It's got rising damp. It's too much money to spend on it. You know, which I didn't have." So, cut a long story short, I lost that one, and then I lost the other one. I couldn't move because my dad was gravely ill at the time. And if we go back to the discussion what was having about my father being ill, I fed him a number of different herbs and added 11 years to his life because in 1999 we took him to England, the King's College Hospital, and they gave him 3 months to live.
Wow.
And he died in 2010. So that's herbs for you. And he didn't die of a condition what they said he had, which was prostate cancer. I had cured that with herbs.
Wow. So you're basically like his, herbal medicine. So how did you know what you were doing at the time?
Experimentation, really. I mean, he was like my guinea pig, but I didn't give him nothing toxic. What I know would have been a danger to him, you know. All these herbs are herbs out of my back garden.
Amazing. So you basically wrote off London and thought to yourself, okay, there's no point going back, perhaps just, continue on the road with Jamaica and start a new life there.
Yeah, because I know that if I went back to England, you know, I couldn't afford to buy another property. Not at this day and age. In 2010, no way, Jose. You know what I mean? And even now, it's even worse. 4 years on. So I thought I've got a fair size house here. You know, I can use it as I can use it to almost anything I want. Really, I can rent the rooms out. You know, I have a couple of vehicles. I rent them out. You know, to friends that come in from England. If they want a room to rent for a week or so, I'll rent them a room here. I could be their chaperone. I could take them around the island. You know, I do pick them up from the airports. I have animals down on a farm. I'm quite busy most of the time, you know. And on the top of all that, I'm still looking after people. I mean, there's a number of aged people on my road, returned residents. I mean, they look at me as somebody that they can rely on.
Yeah.
So even down to the bank. They'd send me to the bank to draw their pensions. They'd send me to do their shoppings. Go to the pharmacy, collect their medication, carry them to the doctors. I tell you, sometimes I think to myself, if I spend even 2 months away from here, I wonder how these people will survive sometimes. I have to ask myself because I don't know, because they call me for anything. I'm going to buy a TV tomorrow. Derek, I'm going to book you. I need you to come with me to buy a television and I want you to set it up. And I mean,
the town carer, that's so sweet.
I'm telling you, this is the type of life I'm living now, man.
But I mean, was it that easy for you? Because you had spent many years in London. So the whole transition from the UK to Mandeville, was it really that easy? I mean, going back to when you first started to settle.
Well, it was really because I used to come here. I've been coming here almost every year since 1987. The first time I stepped foot on Jamaican soil was in 1976 as a young child with my mother and my sisters, you know. And from then, I just loved, as even though I was so young, I loved it. I couldn't wait to come back. And it wasn't until 11 years later that I was able to come back,
Right.
you know. And from then, I was here almost every year. So, I mean, I have so much family here in Jamaica that people wondering if I'm telling the truth when I say that's my cousin, that's my cousin, that's my cousin. My father comes from a family. His siblings number 21. You know,
Mhm.
it's 21 of them, and there's about 6 of them dead out of 21. My mother, she comes from a family of 9 brothers and sisters, and she's the only one to die, and she's not the oldest. You know, so I have a whole heap of cousins.
I think yours sounds about 3 times as big as mine. So why do you think a lot of people or Brits reside in Mandeville? What do you think? Is it just the temperature? Is it more than that?
You know, I don't think it's just the temperature. I think it's the I think easy access to things. You know, easy access to the hospital. You can even if you don't own a car, you can get around. You can call a taxi. Who'll come and pick you up, take you where you want to go. I mean, everything is within arm's reach.
Okay.
You know, you have your dry cleaners. You have your I don't know, your junk food places. You got them all in Mandeville. You got 2 Burger Kings. You got 2 Kentucky. You got Pizza Hut. You got Domino's. Um, Supermarkets, numberless supermarkets we have, you know, um, clubs, nightclubs.
Yeah, but
We have,
we got the same in Kingston. Exactly what you've
yeah,
described.
exactly what he just said. But guess what? The climate in Mandeville, I don't need to sleep with a fan on at night time.
So it is the coolness in the air.
I think that's got a lot to do with it
Uh-huh.
because I mean, I go to Kingston sometimes in the summer. In the summertime, I can't wait to get out, to breathe, to
Uh-huh.
just to say, fresh air at last, because sometimes it just feels very clogging, you know? I don't know how you felt when you was there. Did you feel that?
I did, and coming into Mandeville, you can immediately feel the air changing,
Mm.
the atmosphere just cooling down, and then going back into town after a weekend. Yeah, it's a significant difference. I know what you mean, but
Mm.
it's just quite strange how it is Little Britain, as they say. So many people reside in Mandeville. It's really interesting.
Yeah, yeah, you walk down the road, you're bound to see someone, you know. I mean, and our cinema has closed down. I cannot
Is it
believe it.
closed
That's what
down
made
now? Oh
Yes, that's what made the
no.
town complete for me. You know, we had this cinema, it's just 2 screens, but I mean, it was, it was a first world cinema. You go in there, it's a lovely place, and they closed it down. I can't believe it. They took it apart, took all the chairs out. I mean, it's not even there anymore, just a building.
Okay. And let's see. Watch this space. See what they're going to turn that into. But
Oh
D,
boy.
I'm speaking to a lot of people who are actually planning to come and live in Jamaica in the next few weeks.
Oh really?
Yeah, some people from the UK. Some people are planning
Hmm.
early part of next year and a bit later.
Hmm.
But the hot topic that's coming up is obviously settling in and networking and trying to find jobs. But a lot of people are asking that question about security and just living in Jamaica. What would you say about that? What's your outlook on, what people say and what we hear versus what the reality is?
I mean, the reality is that crime exists. There's no doubt about it. For a small place, I mean, we live amongst a bunch of ignorant people, and some of them is also very hungry. And there's no telling what lengths people will go to when they are hungry. So the only way out of that is to create jobs. And right now, if we're still talking about Mandeville on a whole, um, a guy named Mr. Black, he's have a big building putting up on Ward Avenue. That's going to create
Mm-hmm.
3,000 jobs in the computer industry. The building's actually almost finished, and there's a next building what he was putting up. It looked like a bunch of townhouses, but in fact it's offices. It's going to be a call center. That's also going to
Mm.
create 1,000 jobs. You know, so if you have the skills in the right areas, there is jobs here, and of course you can always create your own job.
Right. So, who did you leave behind in the UK?
You know, my son mainly, and my sisters, and I got aunts over there as well,
So, a
cousins.
lot of close family, really.
and a whole load of good friends too. But most people come and look for me.
And how often do you go back to look for them?
Well, in the last 13 years or so, I've been back twice.
Twice, Steve.
Twice.
So you really have fallen in love and just swept away with Jamaica. That's
Yeah,
incredible. So what is it? Tell me, what is it that you love about Jamaica that's just locked you there for so long?
like I said, the last time I went back to England,
Mm.
it's changed so much that I felt lost. I mean, on a
Mm.
weekend you get bored, just go to the beach and you chill out. You can't do that in England. Which beach you gonna go and sit in? You know? I mean, there's so many things you can do here. Little country sightseeing, everything's nearby. Nothing's gonna take you. You ain't gonna drive to Scotland. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the people are really nice. If not Jamaica, try another Caribbean island because I know people that don't even come from certain places in the Caribbean and they go back there and they go and they live. You know, wherever you lay your hat is your home. If you love England, make yourself comfortable because you got to remember this. God never put up no barriers and fences.
Mm.
It's man do it. The whole world, the earth is beautiful. Wherever you lay your hat, make it your home. If you love London, make something of it.
And try new things, really. Like you said, you can, test things out and see which fits you, because obviously what suits me could be completely different to what suits you.
Exactly. I mean, and Jamaica isn't for everyone.
No.
Jamaica isn't for everyone. I mean, you can get the lifestyle. I'm going to tell you this: a lifestyle is very slow. So I mean, you go into places of like authority, government places, and I mean, you go into a passport office or something like that to get some kind of paperwork sorted out. It is long. I'm not going to lie to you.
How
That
long are we talking? A few hours, a couple of days?
Listen, man, it can be weeks. You know what I mean? What's going to take you like a day in England to sort out is going to take you weeks in Jamaica because they're just too laid back in these government buildings, especially the government workers. I mean, you go in a post office, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nearly every time I go into the post office in Mandeville, I have to have an argument with one particular person because that one particular person, his line, right, is going out the door. Everybody else line is moving, but this guy, if you see the way he moves, it's like you are his last customer.
Yeah.
If you see the way he moves and he's just packing up to go home, that's what he moves like. He goes, he picks up the pen, he stretches forth really slow, picks it up, he scribbles on a piece of paper to see that he's working. You just look at him and you just want to kill him. Because you're sitting down there, you got your things to do, man. These guys just take their time.
I know what you mean, but I used to think it was the heat, because it's really hot and kind of slows them down. But I really don't know. And the thing that frustrates me more is like the banks, going into the bank sometimes. But I've just got used to just preparing my brain, just saying to myself, you know what, this will take, allow an hour. I've got to, pay some money or deal with this transaction or whatever, and just set myself that time, because you will get frustrated because, things do take a lot longer than what we're used to.
Another thing with Jamaica as well is who you know. I mean, I used to queue up.
Oh, yeah.
I used to queue up in these banks forever and ever. So what I do, I get a couple of friends who's got their own offices in the bank. And as soon as I go in there and I see these whole hundreds of people queuing up, I just walk straight to the door, knock, knock. Hey, I need your help. What is it? You just give them a lunch or something after that. You know what I mean? If you want. But it's good to know people in Jamaica.
Yeah.
It's who you know that, dictates whether you're going to get through quick or slow.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. And those things couldn't run in the UK.
No,
It's
it
just
really couldn't.
not
It's
work
not
that
on.
way.
It's not on. I mean, this saying that too. There is also because of the same friend thing. There's also a lot of corruption in this country, as you know. I mean, I ain't gonna hide and tell you that there isn't.
It has its good and the bads, but I like what you said about the people though, because that's one thing I really love. Wherever I'm walking, wherever I am, just to have that little conversation or say, good morning and just that nice vibe from the people. And I just love that because it was completely different to how it is in the UK. And you know how it is, especially when you're commuting and you go into work.
And I mean, a lot of them, you go to different parishes, the behavior of the people is different. Like
Yeah.
my favorite place has got to be St. Elizabeth. I mean, the people down there are just, I don't even know what word you would use to describe them. It's not docile, or I mean, they're just so nice,
Mm.
and they're so giving as well. It's just an amazing place, a breadbasket of Jamaica, everything they plant down there.
I haven't spent much time down there myself, other than Little Lochi that we've been to a couple of times.
There's a lot of places down there, Treasure Beach area. I mean, it's got some really nice, peaceful, and tranquil places you can visit down there. And the people are just as peaceful as the places.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense, Yeah.
So do you travel the island much?
Well, I do because, like I say, I always have a lot of visitors. Like even right now as we speak, I had some visitors. They wanted to go somewhere. I just said to them, just take the car and do your thing. So, because I mean, I'm quite tired now. Been doing a lot of gardening and stuff today. But yeah, I do a lot of traveling around the island. I mean, I had chikungunya last week. And,
Oh, you caught it as
yeah,
well.
and that's because the amount of traveling that I've been doing at that
Oh
time.
my
I
God.
couldn't tell you if I picked it up in Montego Bay, Ochi, or Kingston. One of those three places I got bitten. And it is as terrible as the people them say. It's really,
And you were like crippled for a couple of days,
I was
literally.
out for the count, crippled in agony. It's
Wow.
horrible, man. I wouldn't wish it on my enemy. It's very, very, very painful. Up to the touch, up to a skin touch, it's that painful.
Ridiculous. So this is down to these nasty muzzies,
That's what they
mosquitoes.
say, but it's making me think. It's making me think, what's all this Ebola, chikungunya? I mean, what's going on here? Are they messing with genes? This is 70% of Jamaica is going to catch chikungunya, right? I mean, is this a genetic thing that mad scientist somewhere have made these mosquitoes? And what's going through my mind, because the doctors say it stays in your blood for years, so you can come on with a bout of pain at any given time. In the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years.
What's this? The chicken V virus?
Yeah, the virus stays in you; it doesn't come out. So you might feel your fingers start hurting you all of a sudden. It's still in you, and there's no way to get it out. It's a virus. It's like linking syphilis. You can't get it out of your system. So I'm wondering if they can turn on these genes and turn them off and put the nation in pain. Some mad scientist somewhere, you know, put everybody in pain and lose a whole load of working hours. Because Jamaica has lost a whole heap of working hours just due to this chikungunya. It's really ridiculous. I don't know. It's making me think all kind of things.
So have you tried to like set up a business in Jamaica at all that was successful, or you're not quite taken off yet?
I did. I was doing an online business, which I still intended to do, but the reason why it didn't really, I can't even say it didn't really take off, but people was ordering online. It was just me. I didn't have the time to put enough effort into it, because the things what I was selling online was really cheap. So I need to put some more effort into that and just give it some more time and see what happens. Because, online you can sell anything.
If you got the market to purchase, to buy.
Yeah, if you got the market, yeah, you can sell almost anything. And maybe a market doesn't even have to be in Jamaica. You got to remember that as
No.
well.
No. So you don't think there's anything in London that you're missing out on? No creature comforts that you've been missing for so long?
Well, everything's changed, isn't it? Nothing's the same. All my creature comforts, I don't even bother with them anymore. It don't exist. Like I said, I'm in a different world when I go to London. It's not the same. So where I look at it, I just leave it as a memory. You know what I mean? My mum ain't there. My dad ain't there. And it's just a memory to me now. I'm not in the same house where I grew up in, which all my memories are in there. I wish it was still there. But I wouldn't even go into that, how that disappeared either, but that's another story. So sometimes I got, when I go there, it's nice to come there for a couple of weeks or even a few months, you know what I mean? But certain things are missing, man, you know what I mean?
But right now, you're quite content, living a great quality of life.
Yeah, it's not too bad here. It's not too bad. I mean, I'm not living a life of Riley, but I'm happy. You know what I mean? I'm warm.
No central heating bills.
No central heating bills, So it's not too bad here at all.
Love it. Love it.
So you're welcome to try it. You can tell folks in Radio Land there, I rent out rooms.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, go and promote yourself.
I'll take you on excursions, If you want, the number to call is Jamaica 1876 875 9752. Okay, that's Derek.
He was really serious. That is Derek Morgan's telephone number. So if you want a Mandeville tour guide to take you to the Jerk Centre, maybe you can stretch to Little Locha, you can do that?
Yeah, I can go island-wide.
Okay, island-wide now.
I'm not situated just to Mandeville. I'll take it all around the island.
Okay.
If
the fare's right, yeah?
Yeah, the fare will always be right. I mean,
Okay.
You can stay here with me too, I charge a small fee, but you're well looked after. You'll ask anybody who come to me.
You are really welcoming, right? No wonder why your neighbours love you.
See there? Michelle's told you. So.
Yeah, he's a lovely man, really. He is. My Mandeville friend. Well, thanks, Dee. Thanks for coming on the show. And I look forward to speaking to some of your expat friends.
Okay, no problem. We can sort that out.
All right.
And thank you again for having me, okay?
You're welcome.
Okay, we will speak soon. Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Home and Away show. We'll be back soon with more from the series. If you would like to comment, suggest a topic, or be a guest on the show, send an email to radio@michelledmore.com.
Oh la 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 la. Bam bam. Oh la 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 la. Bam bam. Oh la 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 la. Bam bam. Oh la 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 la. Big it up. Oh la 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 la. Big it up. Oh la 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 la. Bam bam. Bam 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 bam. Bam bam. Bam 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 bam. Bam 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 bam. Bam bam bam. Bam 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 bam. It's a new year.